Hometown Legend was the third and final installment of the Hometown trilogy, starting with Hometown Hero, going into Hometown Villain, and culminating with Hometown Legend. When I first started Hometown Legend, it wasn't initially planned to continue that story. I was just, planning out some project ideas. Like I've mentioned before, I keep a list of titles that I would like to name songs or albums. So I had played around with the idea of doing Hometown Legend. I didn't fully get into Hometown Legend and figuring out, how I would weave some of that storyline until after I was working on Summer Singles Volume 2. Some of the songs from Summer Singles Volume 2 and vice versa, some of the songs from Hometown Legend, they ended up on each other. So there was a couple songs on Summer Singles Volume 2 that were supposed to be Hometown Legend songs originally, but I pulled them. And then there were some songs that were supposed to go to Summer Singles that I saved, and I was like, no, I think this would fit better with the Hometown Legend album. So it was around the time where I was still like really heavy into, expanding my lore for my Kieran books and, figuring out ways to interconnect all of those stories. So leading up to the release of Hometown Legend, I also came up with a few short stories that were put on Kindle Vella. It's an old thing that Amazon used to do and Kindle used to do. And it allowed you to put up some ebooks and little short stories and have them be like episodic, and people could buy the short stories and stuff. But I experimented with that and had maybe like 3 or 4 episodes of that intertwined with the book because, as you know, the Hometown Hero albums lead into the Kieran books, but they take place way in the past compared to the Kieran books. So, just figuring out some cool ways to tie it back. So the short stories that tied in were, it was during, I think it was set during, between book 3 and book 4, or between book 4 and book 5. I can't remember for sure which one I did because I know I took a break between a couple of the books. And it was the character Destiny and Kai recalling stories about the heroes from Earth and how they used to, interact with the last son and things like that. And which was, one of Destiny's previous incarnations. So, all of that stuff. And I was just trying to figure all that out. So fast forward from figuring out some of the storyline and things like that, I started thinking about how am I gonna, convey this is it for that Hometown series. The initial 10 years of my music career, I call it the Hometown Saga. That's 2013 to 2023. I started from my debut album. I don't start it from when I originally started making music in 08, 09, but I just choose to start it from that debut album in 2013. So I'm thinking, how am I going to tie this together? Hometown Hero, I created a logo for Hometown Hero. Hometown Villain, I created a logo for a Hometown Villain. So I was like, man, I got to create a logo for the Hometown Legend. And I always tried to do it in a way that kind of signified the entry number. So Hometown Hero is just the double H's on the chest logo. And Hometown Villain, I did it in a way where it's HV, but it's stylized to look like H2. And then I switched it up a bit for Hometown Legend, and I didn't do an H3 because, I felt like it didn't look the same. Like the Hometown Villain looked like H2, and it was just too hard for me to figure out a way to make H3 look reasonable. So I ended up doing 3L. So instead of doing H3, I did 3L to signify third entry, the legend. And you know, ended up with that. The base of the cover art was originally drawn by an artist named Venomous. He's a artist that I met on Instagram, and he did like a lot of Star Wars designs back in the day. And I remember I got that art originally during the planning for Hometown Hero, so way back. And I found the artwork again, made some edits to it, changed some colors. Originally it was like green and blue, but I changed it to the red and orange kind of gradient, and I went with that. And ultimately, it ended up turning out real well. I like the direction that it all took, as far as all the artwork goes. It was a nice return to form, I feel, because I always intended for the Hometown trilogy of albums to resemble comic books, and that's what it definitely felt like to me when I looked at it. So around this time, I also had some drawings done of other Kieran characters from the books. Those were drawn by Joshua Dow, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, Dow Art. And he is the one that drew Kieran, Kieran's sisters. That's a spoiler, I guess. Read the books if you haven't. And I made trading cards of all those characters. I didn't mass produce them or anything, like I've said, I didn't have a lot of money to do a lot of that stuff, but I did get at least one copy of them made, so I could have them for myself in my own collection of my creations. Fast forward a bit to the creation of the songs. So like I mentioned before, I always do a lot of planning for my artwork in advance, and then I double back once I finish all the songs, and I'm confident about my track list, so I don't have to make too many updates. So one of the only little hiccups, so to speak, with Hometown Legend was I remember I was helping Pop do a lot of follow-up singles. We were coming off of his first album, and we were prepping to get ready to start working on, whether he was doing features or his second album, whatever it was, we were in that process. And he had a beat from the producer, Ronnie Lynn, and he didn't use it at the time. And I heard it because I had access to his folders at the time on Google Drive. And I was like, hey man, you mind if I use this beat? I got an idea for it. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Ronnie made it. I'm sure it'll be no big deal, whatever. So Pop told me to use it. I finished the album. I'm sending it splits out and stuff. And I send Ronnie his split for that song, but he never knew that I intended to do the song. So he was just, oh man, you should have asked me first, blah, 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 stuff like that. And obviously, hindsight, I'm like, yeah, I probably could have done the courtesy of just asking him and checking and making sure. But at the time, I was just going off of, because I didn't know Ronnie personally. Pop did. So I was just going off, Pop said it was cool, and I had asked Pop. So I was just like, oh yeah, cool, no problems, no issues. But yeah, small issue, nothing major. Like he didn't stop the song or anything. He just said, next time, just like reach out and ask in advance, which is absolutely no issue. Because I would want the same thing. If I, not so much that you got to ask me permission if you have access to it, but just a heads up, so to speak. So that was the only little hiccup that was present on the recording side. Additionally, we did another installment to the Black songs on Hometown Legend. If you don't know, the Black album is an album that me and De'Aro Quinson did, and it's produced by Tone Jones. So ever since me and De'Aro met, like way back in the day, we've always, not even intentionally, originally, but we've always done these songs that are Black with 3 Ks, and then whatever the title is. And we, discuss the racial injustice about a situation and, social commentary. And our first one that we did was for a mixtape that Darion released, and it was Black Zoo. And that was way before the idea of doing, the Black Tape or the Black Album. And then I think after we did Black Zoo, it was Black America, Black Tears, Black Thoughts, Black Fears, and, then the rest that followed suit. After we did Black Luxury on Hometown Legend, I had the idea where I was just like, you know what, bro? We've been doing these songs for years, and they're always produced by Tone Jones when we do them. We might as well compile all of these songs, make a few new ones, and then release a collab album and call it the Black Album, since we already got so many of these songs. So during a little bit after that, we did end up going in. I think we re-recorded almost every one of the songs from the original days, like the Black America, Black Tears, all of those. I'm pretty sure we recorded all of those again because I had lost the folder. I think I still had the beats. I was able to find the beats, but my original audio files, all of that was gone because I had a hard drive crash, and pretty much everything was lost before like 2019. So, but it was all good. We did as best as we could to try and make it as authentic to the original versions as we could. Like, we didn't try to change too much. We did change a few lyrics here and there, delivery here and there, where some things I was listening back and I was like, oh, you could tell I recorded this as, a teenager or early 20-year-old, because my thoughts on this specific thing have changed drastically. Like a good example is in the song Skin Tone on Living and Loving. I would never make Skin Tone now because I'm not a child, and my thoughts on, racial injustice and where a lot of the issues with that lie have changed so drastically that that's not a song I would make. The subject matter of, yes, love each other and all that stuff, that part is still, I can still stand by that part, but there are some parts of that where I'm just like, nah, bro, you were just young and you didn't know no better. And, after you educated yourself, your opinions changed drastically on that topic. So there were some things like that where we made, subtle shifts to lyrics here and there. It was nothing crazy like vulgar or demeaning or anything. It's just, I guess you would say for clarity's sake, so that you can't misconstrue what was said or what was intended during that time. But this was also the time where I was trying to do better with videos. I don't think I shot a real video for Hometown Legend. However, I did do a few promo videos, and I, put some editing skills to the test. I got, I think it was, I want to say it was 3 or 4 total. One of them was just a promotional video, just like an announcement trailer, so to speak, for the album. And, it was fun shooting them and editing them and playing around with the effects and things like that. And just doing things that a little more abstract to announce the album and promote the album that were not just a regular music video format. One of my favorite videos that I did is like a little, it's not really a meme, but it's a promo video more for laughs than anything. I was watching the movie Major Payne, and I remember the dance scene where he was in the white suit in the club, and one of the songs, I think it was Think Twice, I did the video for with that, just as like a little announcement and teaser trailer again. But I synced the music up to have him dancing to that beat. And it's like when he steps in, he's like, I've been known to cut a rug, or whatever he said. I've been known to cut a rug back in my day. And I dropped a beat once the dancing started. So, that was fun. I've always liked that movie. So I was like, man, it'll be funny if I just, start doing some videos like this. I don't do that a lot. it's just got to be something that I just find funny in the moment. I don't try to make a bunch of, funny videos just for the sake of making them because of social media. It's just if I like the idea and I want to make it because it's, something I think is funny, then I'll share it. Recently, I had toyed with the idea of doing a fourth installment to the Hometown series, but I sort of decided against it because I'm like, man, it's a nice trilogy. It starts with Hometown Hero, goes to Villain, goes to Legend, and then it just kind of cuts off. I mentioned before where I had done the thing of like there was always a somewhat of a prelude to the albums where Hometown Hero was a song and then Hometown Hero was an album. Hometown Villain was a song and then Hometown Villain was an album. I think I put Hometown Legend on the Hometown Legend album. So I don't think that one fell into the same category. And did I? No, I don't think I did. So wait, yes, I did. Yes, I did. It was the last track on the album and I called it The Hometown Legend. I didn't just do Hometown Legend. So I kind of ended it off with that. But recently I had made Hometown Myth. And I was like, man, maybe I can make a fourth installment. I can call it Hometown Myth and, kind of bring it back. But I don't know. I wasn't really too confident in that idea because I felt like where I ended that story with those characters, it didn't really leave a lot of room. And I was trying to, push forward and have new ideas. And, I'll never say never. I might make it in the future. But I remember when J. Cole released, what was it? Might Delete Later in Trade the Truth in Ibiza, there was a line where he said, I'm a legend, but it ain't no need for myth. And I remember hearing that while I was working on the Hometown Myth song. And it almost made me not make the song because I was like, you know what? That's a real good point. Obviously, J. Cole has no idea about my Hometown trilogy, but it was just perfect timing where I was debating, okay, do I want to make Hometown Myth to follow up Hometown Legend? And then Cole dropped the song and the line said, I'm a legend, so it ain't no need for myth. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that as an unintentional sign that I don't need to make the Hometown Myth project. I'll just release the song when it's done and call it a day. So yeah, it's a great trilogy, I feel. I do feel like Hometown Legend stands stronger as an album overall because, I was telling the story, but I had started becoming a much better storyteller because I had been writing my books much longer by this time. It wasn't just like, oh, I have, inklings of ideas and I'm kind of weaving them into lyrics. It's like, no, I have the story. I know how the story unfolds. I put separate little short stories up. The story is connected to the books. I can tell this story a bit more confidently within the album, yes, but also within these short stories. So it became the album was more of a accompaniment to those short stories. And I was able to, focus on it being more of a project and just making good songs that were reflections of my personal life, as well as kind of tying it into the characters involved that I had been creating over the course of these 3 projects. So I will play a song from that. Actually, before I play a song from that, I almost forgot one of the big things. There's a song on the album called Paramore. And those that know me, they know I love Hayley Williams. I love Paramore. And I just felt like when I was writing that song, the original title was Paramore. Like the actual spelling of it, not the way that the band spells it. And I was like, man, let me do this little homage to Paramore and Hayley Williams and just, title it the same way as the band. And it made me start thinking back to, late high school days by the time, the album's about to come out and stuff. And I was like, man, it'll be crazy if I'm able to get a song with Hayley Williams one day. So that's still on my list of things to do is I do want to make a song with Hayley one day or a song with the whole band one day. Whether that's, a hip hop song of mine and she's a feature on it or a collaborator on it, or I'm blessed enough to be able to feature on a song of hers. Either way, I'm cool. That's just one of the singers that I really enjoyed growing up. I think what really put me on to Paramore back in the day was one of the Guitar Hero games, I'm pretty sure, when me and my sisters used to, it was either that or Rock Band, and we used to have the whole set, and we would load it up in my room, and we would go at it. And I'm a drummer in real life, so you'd think I'd play the drums, but actually, one of my little sisters played the drums, one of my little sisters did the singing, and I did the guitar. So I'm a rapper and a drummer, and I didn't do the singing or the drumming. I was on guitar. So, little memories like that. That's what means a lot to me when I'm making these albums and I'm having all these moments and I'm trying to, incorporate little pieces of my life into the songs. Like, yeah, everybody might not get every single reference, but it always brings me back to a place and always, makes me recall some memories that may have started to slip away. So I'll play a song from Hometown Legend and maybe play two if this episode is a little short. But if not, it'll just be one. Cause, like I've said before, all these projects, they do hold such a great place in my heart. And I listened to this one today before I sat down to start recording this episode. And, I do have such a bad habit of, distancing myself from a project once it's released and I move on and I start working on the next thing. But sometimes it does feel really good to be able to slow down and listen to my projects again months and years down the line when, the air quotes pressure is off and I'm able to just sit back and listen to it and enjoy it and hear what I was going through at the time.
I've been giving too much to myself, and I even sacrifice my health. I put on a smile and struggle through the pain, I've been consciously keeping secrets from the people who close, from fear they plotting on me, knowing it would take one dose of the drugs in different mediums. I take my notes to be sure that I'm avoiding all the tabloid quotes. When I speak, they misconstrue every word that I say, things bleak. I've been pursuing since back in the day, get the peak, get my potential on the nights that I pray. No hesitation, move beyond the days that I was afraid to take leaps and make strides. I reside in my own lane, create my own pace, I'm deciding my own fate. They say I need a baker, but I'm eating my own cake. Position consecrated, I'm propelled by my own fate. The skill immaculate, full set, not partial. I was finna say finna like my last name Marshall. Sent hope to the masses in a first class parcel. Telling stories, now I'm finally setting up my mark. I've been keeping too much to myself, and I even sacrifice my health. I put on a smile and struggle through the pain, cause I don't wanna ask no one for help. So I gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air. I gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air. Know this is the hometown series, so let's get personal. My single life, the victim of me thinking I ain't worth enough. Do I make enough money? Are my songs good enough for y'all to cop some from me? Do my friends really love me, or is it all a front? Will my praying still protect me from the things that I've done? It's no sweat or no hoodie, no press or no bully. I tried a simple way to the top, but no pulley. I'm loaded with many more lives than my own. One goal, a single mission, to be proud of my own. You want honesty, but honestly, I open the book. Say you rolling my beat, but I never been shook. My circle been a lot smaller since I dropped day ones. My greatest fear is that I'll go and never see what comes of the life that I lived on this green and blue rock. No, I made it from the bottom if I never reached the top. I've been keeping too much to myself, and I even sacrifice my health. I put on a smile and struggle through the pain, cause I don't wanna ask no one for help. So I gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air. No, I gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air. Gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air, gotta clear the got it clitty, yeah. Got it clitty, yeah. Got it clitty, yeah. Got it clitty, got it clitty, got it clitty, I've been keeping too much to myself, and I even sacrifice my health. I put on a smile and struggle through the pain, cause I don't wanna ask no one for help. So I gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air. No, I gotta clear the air, gotta clear the air. Got it clitty, got it clitty, got it clitty, got it, yeah. Got it clitty, got it clitty, got it clitty, got it, yeah. Freestyle, this a C-style, turn the beat down. Street fight, they'll be safer if they lock the streets down. They be pressing me, I guess they want the king crown. 981, I don't let them bring the heat round. No ultimatums, I don't never make them choose they fault. Cause I don't want anyone to lose. You ain't 10 toes stepping, then you better make a move. 1033, so you know I make the rules. Accidents happen, everybody gotta slip. But you not gon' disrespect me, I don't tolerate the lip. Better think twice, cause you got a lot to lose. I'm the king, but the queen been getting to the move. Back in 981, where blue. Lot of names and they still don't got a clue. I was slipping, man, I had to get a grip. Did the work, now we going for the chip. Like, whoa, this a movement. Better think twice before you lose it. Like, whoa, this a movement. Better think twice before you lose it. Look, they call me killer for a reason. Tread light, I ain't tolerating treason. No shots, we gon' get into the issue. Hit the brakes, the team won't miss you. Know it's cliche, but I did it on my own. Had to build a foundation before I started building homes. I was grown before I started telling dudes carry on. Me and Pop, always making moves on the phone. Long live the cane, cause it ain't no half-stepping. Had a brain for this thing, I'm adapting to the lesson. Try to change major pain, and he had him cross-dressing. Got my granddaddy chain and my grandmama blessings. Accidents happen, everybody gotta slip. But you not gon' disrespect me, I don't tolerate the lip. Better think twice, cause you got a lot to lose. I'm the king, but the queen been getting to the move. Back in 981, where blue. Lot of names and they still don't got a clue. I was slipping, man, I had to get a grip. Did the work, now we going for the chip. Like, whoa, this a movement. Better think twice before you lose it.